population of the world, and to help those who cannot read but who will listen. There are mature Christians who have knowledge and wisdom gained by study and experience. It is not necessary for God to perform such miracles at this time to attest to Jesus Christ as God's appointed deliverer, or to provide proof that he is backing up his servants. Even if God were to continue to give his servants the ability to perform miracles, that would not convince everyone, for not even all the eyewitnesses of Jesus' miracles were moved to accept his teachings. Job 12. 9-11. On the other hand, scoffers are warned by the Bible that there will yet be stupendous acts of God performed in the destruction of the present system of things. 2 Peter 3. 1-10. Recaps 18-19. In conclusion, it may be said that either those who deny the existence of miracles do not believe there is an invisible God and Creator, or they believe that he has not exercised his power in any superhuman way since creation. But their unbelief does not make the word of God of no effect. Row 3. 3. For the biblical accounts of God's miracles and the good purpose that they accomplished, always in harmony with the truths and principles found in his word, instill confidence in God. They give strong assurance that God cares for mankind and that he can and will protect those who serve him. The miracles provide typical patterns, and the record of them builds faith that God will, in the future, intervene in a miraculous way, healing and blessing faithful humankind. 3:21. 4. Miriam and possibly, rebellious. 1. Daughter of Amram and his wife Jochebed, both of the tribe of Levi. Sister of Moses and Aaron. New 26. 59. 1ch6. 1-3. Though not specifically named in the account, she was undoubtedly the one-termed sister who watched to see what would become of the infant Moses as he lay in an ark placed among the reeds of the river Nile. X2. 3. For after Pharaoh's daughter discovered the babe, felt compassion for it, and recognized that it was one of the children of the Hebrews, Miriam asked if she should summon a Hebrew woman to nurse the child. Being told to do so by Pharaoh's daughter, the maiden went and called the child's mother Jochebed, who was thereafter employed to care for Moses until he grew up. X2. 5-10. Leads Israel's women in song. Years later, after witnessing Jehovah's triumph over Pharaoh's military forces at the Red Sea, and upon hearing the song of Moses and the men of Israel, Miriam the prophetess led the women of Israel in joyful tambourine playing and in dancing. Responding O text to a acute miritra longo, Mishrates 415 led Miriam to return to the camp after a humiliating 7-day quarantine. New 12. 1-15. The fact that only Miriam was stricken with leprosy may suggest that she was the instigator of wrong conduct on that occasion. See Aaron. Her sin in murmuring against Moses may have been greater than Aaron's, possibly even being a case of jealousy of a woman against another woman, since they began to speak against Moses on account of his Cushite wife, with Aaron siding in with his sister rather than his sister-in-law. Since Miriam was viewed as a prophetess, she may have enjoyed being the most prominent woman in Israel. So Miriam perhaps feared that Moses' wife would eclipse her. Regardless of such possibilities, however, and while it was grossly improper for both Miriam and Aaron to murmur against Moses, it was especially wrong for Miriam to do so because of woman's God-assigned place of subjection to the man. 1 Co 11. 3. 1t2. 11-14. Miriam's sinful conduct was later used as a warning example, for at the end of the wilderness trek Moses told the people to comply with priestly instructions regarding leprosy and urged them to remember what Jehovah had done to Miriam when they were coming out of Egypt. De 24. 8-9. Miriam died and was buried at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin, shortly before Aaron's death. New 20. 1, 28 centuries later, through his prophet Micah, Jehovah called to remembrance the privilege Miriam enjoyed in association with her brothers when Israel came out of Egypt, saying, For I brought you up out of the land of Egypt, and from the house of slaves I redeemed you. And I proceeded to send before you Moses, Aaron and Miriam. Mix 6. 4. 2. The descendant of Judah. 1ch4. 1, 17, 18. Murmur possibly, deception. A paternal head of the tribe of Benjamin and son of Shaharaim by his wife Hodesh. 1ch8. 1, 8-10. mirror. Ancient hand mirrors is 3. 23 were sometimes made of polished stone, though they were generally made of metal, such as bronze or copper, and later of tin, silver, and even gold. It was probably not until the 1st century CE that mirrors of glass were introduced. Since the ancient mirrors were generally made of molten metal, they had to be highly polished in order to have good reflecting surfaces. Pounded pumice stone might be used for this purpose, it being applied periodically thereafter with a sponge that usually hung from the mirror itself. Nevertheless, ancient metal mirrors did not have as fine a reflecting surface as do today's glass mirrors. So the Apostle Paul could appropriately write, "At present we see in hazy outline by means of a metal mirror." 1 Cor 13. 12. Figurative use. The scriptures at times refer to mirrors in a figurative, or an illustrative, way. At Job 37. 18 the skies are likened to a metal mirror, the burnished face of which gives off the bright